Let's go ahead and go now to Fox News anchor Bret Baier, who is joining us now live from Washington, D.C. Bret, what can you tell us? This was expected. We'd heard a statement from the family, but now, as we just said, John McCain dead at the age of 81.
Yeah, Marianne, it's a sad day because there are not many John McCains out there in the world, and he was unique on Capitol Hill. His ability to stand up to not only his party, but his ability to reach across the aisle and have relationships and get things done in an environment in Washington that is obviously increasingly partisan. John McCain was a unique figure. He always was, not only from the time that he served in Vietnam and spent that time in the Hanoi Hilton as a prisoner of war, but also as a senator, where he fought vigorously for the U.S. military. He fought vigorously for counterterrorism efforts against al-Qaeda and terrorists around the world, and also fought for regular order in the United States Senate. He is one of these figures that is kind of a lion of the Senate. If you think of the Senate, Ted Kennedy, Orrin Hatch, John McCain is a big name when it comes to the U.S. Senate. And it's a sad day. The 2008 presidential nominee, obviously taking a lot of controversy, and some conservatives really had a problem with his vote on Obamacare late in the night on the Senate floor with the thumbs down on repealing and replacing Obamacare, but gave one of his most impassioned speeches saying that regular order had to happen and that it wasn't about stuffing legislation down lawmakers' throats. He was somebody who stood up to power, and he was a unique figure in American history. And I think you can't really put your finger on many people who have served as much or the kind of service that John McCain has served the United States.
And, you know, Bret, even though you didn't hear from him as much, you know, in the last year as he was fighting cancer, he was still very much involved in a lot of the major votes that were going on Capitol Hill.
He was, and, you know, considered coming back for several of them. You know, the defense bill that passed was named for John McCain, the chairman of the Armed Services Committee. You know, I covered the Pentagon for 6.5 years, and there would be, you know, different branches of the military who would have to testify in front of the Armed Services Committee, and specifically John McCain, and they would shudder because he would really get after them about, you know, pricing and what exactly they were doing for the betterment of the U.S. military. He was a big, big figure on Capitol Hill. And tonight, I think there are people on both sides of the aisle, an outpouring of support and statements supporting the family and offering prayers.